Thank you, Donnie.
Yeah, I'm sorry I forgot to come out to
Oh, it's no problem. Well, you always check before I leave for school, and I am just driving around Fuquay. But we're off our schedule a little bit this week.
It says it's at 37.5.
Yeah, that's about what the car was reading. So this works such that you get to set what pressure and it just cuts off when it gets there?
Right. You has a little plus and minus, and you can quickly bump it up to whatever air pressure you want in 1 pound increments.
Now, I've never had a car before that had tire pressure warning sensors. Yes. So explain those to me, because I don't know how they work. Right.
Well, on the valve stem, it goes into this, once it gets inside of the rim, there's a little circuit board inside of a hermetically sealed package. It's potted. It's not repairable. You basically replace them when the battery runs down, or have a lithium battery. They're probably good for 5 years or more.
So if you change the tire out, somebody has to get that sensor out of the stem and then put it back in, or?
Right. Well, you have to be careful when you put new tires on not to damage the sensor. That's right. When you they're about $80 when I checked. I believe Tesla, one of the few things we're fortunate is that their tire sensors don't have to be keyed to the car. I can be wrong about that, but I know that several manufacturers make tire pressure sensors basically that have to be programmed into the car to work, and but apparently Teslas are not that way. That the receiver on the car will pick up the tire pressure sensor, you know, in a few minutes and recognize it and start using it.
Well, I'll check out a picture. I'll Google it and look at a picture when I get back home.
Back when we were doing things, when we were last November, whenever we aired up the tires to put the winter pressure in them, that's when I read up on it. So my memory's a little vague at this point, but I did at that time Google it, and they were about $80 a piece.
I got Joey signed in. They're gonna work him on the dock today. That should be fun. And I'm just taking a quick peek. Can't come in even if I was in yesterday and not take a quick peek. Cat litter, 35 pounds each cat litter. I've got 3 returns for Walmart, so I'm just gonna walk from this spot. Who could resist checking out all of this clearance? Not me. Well, I ended up with a couple things off the clearance rack, and I got my returns made no problem. You know, places are getting fussier about returns, but I had the receipt for all of those things, and they were all bought less than 2 weeks ago. So yeah, don't let your returns sit around. Make sure you keep your receipts. Stores are starting to care more, I guess, because some people have been abusing the system. So I was walking back to the car, and I was walking pretty close to Ruby and through some empty parking spaces, and this mom in a white Honda Odyssey minivan, she just decided she was going to turn right in front of me, and I had to stop for her and cut through the spaces, and she gave me a look and then kept on going. I'm like, really? I wasn't technically in her way, and I had the right of way, and really where else was I supposed to walk? And you gotta be watching. As we've learned this week, you gotta be watching all the time, looking out for yourself. This stop is for suet for the birds. All these little stops today. Pansies, snapdragons, and Dusty Miller. That's mostly what I'm seeing here today at Home Depot. Well, and a few marigolds. Spots for roses and hibiscus and mandevilla, they're all still empty, of course. There's what I wanted. Walmart just doesn't have this one. Pansies live as a biennial here, and lots of people plant them in the fall and then they bloom in the spring, but some people just add them in the spring. They're pretty. I plant them at my house and the squirrels dig them up. They are all set for spring with mulch and topsoil and pine bark and fertilizer. They are ready. They have people drive through over there, and they have somebody waiting out outside and they just load it up for you. You pay at the register and they just load it up out here. Makes things pretty easy, but there'll be a line of 5, 6, 7 cars on the weekend waiting. Wow, the stoplights are out at both of the major intersections over here on the new part of Main Street, and they have Fuquay Police Department directing traffic, but it's busy out there today. A lot of people are out this week. It's extra traffic. This is JoJo, and she's hanging out at the vet up here on the counter today. Hey, sweetie. Hey, JoJo. Johnny will be sorry he didn't get to say hello today. Oh, I thought that was a bolt. Sure enough, over here at the vet's office, or Zaxby's, somebody's driving it. Yep, the traffic situation in Fuquay is not so much fun today. So Don's on his way to give blood over at St. Bernadette's Church here in Fuquay. You know, he's O negative and CRV free, and they want his blood bad. So he's making an effort to get over there today. He's a good boy. Hey Joey, so how'd it go today?
Well.
Yeah, what did you do today?
I was on the dock for the first half, taking people's donations and organizing them, and then for the second half I went into what used to be one of their other locations and loaded up old bags into a truck.
Yeah, they're in the process of moving some of their operations from one of the little building areas in the shopping center to another one, so there's a lot of relocation of items right now. And you're gonna go back Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, cool, way cool. I'm not sure if this is a hawk or maybe an osprey. The feathers on its head look different. I can't see the back of its tail, but it's over here on the high power lines near the house, and it's a really cool bird.
So, got lots of loot today for giving blood. Not only did I get a Nutty Buddy peanut bar and a chocolate peanut granola bar, I got a Chick-fil-A gift card, and I got me a t-shirt.
Wow, they really like you.
Yeah, this new Carolina connection, they're all high tech. Whenever you give blood and it fills up, it sounds like a video game.
Sure they didn't give you something else while you were over there, Donnie? You're right, perky.
Oh, it's all girls and they're cute.
Oh, good for you, Donnie.
Yeah, so
let's see the Band-Aid.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, let's see it. We got to see your boo-boo. Yeah, there's your boo-boo.
Yeah, all taped up.
All right. Well, thank you for giving today, Donnie. Making an effort to get over there.
My pleasure.
Aw, peace, love, and saving lives. That's you, Donnie. Aw. So Don and I are headed over to Wilson, North Carolina, which is east of us, to the Whirligig Park. There's a gentleman now passed who took all kinds of scrap metal and made really interesting whirligigs, and they've now moved all of his art in Wilson over to one little park, and they went and they restored all of his stuff. So it's a little windy out there today. It should be a good day to go view them.
Right, it's sunny.
It's 54.
Yeah, and it's only round trip. We'll get back with 60%, 59%. So it's not that far. It's I can't quite read it. I don't have my
64 miles.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read.
Yeah, it's 64 miles, so it's like 130 miles round trip, something like that. So we're headed up 401 and we're coming to that crest, and it's sunny, so the conditions are a little different than when we did this the other day. Don's got autopilot engaged. We'll see what what Ruby does today.
No, just normal correction, just the normal I'm on a road and I'm moving the wheel slightly to the right, slightly to the left.
Yeah, I didn't feel it as a passenger. I didn't feel her shimmy at all. It seemed like she just handled that crest just fine.
See about this one. Yeah, no movement whatsoever on that.
That's great. All right, Dawn's done 2 lane changes. This is a 3rd one, and it's much smoother. I mean, it used to just haul you over when you would press the turn signal, and now it's much more gradual.
Right, and it actually slows down to match the speed. It knew that black car was in front of me, and oh, by the way, there was a truck behind me, and it slowed me down a little bit because I was going faster than the black car, and then it went over. It actually adjusted its speed to get over into that lane.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Wow, she did that too, huh?
Yeah, and that was a car zooming up from behind, coming pretty quick.
Tell you what, if lane merges are going to be that good, I'm going to start using Ruby to merge lanes, because that's pretty smooth.
Right.
All right, Dawn wants to know if she's going to slow down properly and how she's going to handle this, because he's still in autopilot.
And we just sort of actually got off the road. That was actually officially a change, an exit, but I was in the lane.
Yeah, Dawn used the turn signal to get into the right lane to take the exit. But
right. And so we just went from I-440 to I-264. So that's what we just did.
Dawn says we're averaging 330 watt-hours per mile. We don't have the heat or the air on. It's kind of just one of those days where we don't really need either.
Right.
So we decided to take this trip today, because it's spring break week, and I guess Dawn was, you know, wanting to take me somewhere to do something that I would enjoy, and taking pictures over here at the park definitely fits the bill. We also wanted to, of course, test out the new autopilot feature. When we went into the service center and asked them if they could push it to the car on Monday, Dawn had said, you know, hey, we're on spring break this week, we'll be doing some extra driving. That's why we'd really, one of the reasons we're so anxious to have it. So yeah, we'll get to check it out. And you know, it's also just a pretty weather day. We've been meaning to go to the Whirligig Park now ever since we saw the article on the news, I'm guessing 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, looking for the right day. And you know, so all those things kind of came together today to make this trip.
Yeah.
So
this was different. There was no lane.
right.
This was just a straight exit.
So no taking the exit, even though navigation was telling us to take it.
Right.
So I don't have it on video, but we came to a stoplight here in town, and Ruby stopped the car, and then the cars in front of us took off and she didn't go, and Dawn noticed that she said she was in hold, but he didn't do anything to put her in hold, and we weren't at that light for more than 30-40 seconds maybe. Not very long.
It wasn't long.
Not long enough for her to have sort of timed out and put herself in hold. So we'll see if that happens again. We were a little perplexed about it.
Right.
Dawn hit the accelerator and she stayed in autopilot, and then she took off like she knew what she was doing again. There it is. We're here in the old historic downtown part of Wilson, and I can see the park. We're waiting to make a left turn here. We're hearing the train. We don't see the train yet.
Basically parallel to the tracks.
Yeah, but it's right over here behind the Whirligig Park, so it's coming through here in a little bit. Oh wow, it has its own little parking area and everything.
Whirligig Park.
Well,
yeah,
just,
I will.
Yeah, over here. Guess we can park there. That looks safe. Or down here on this side over here. You don't got to get turned around then.
Well, I was trying to get you.
Don's noticed a couple of the Whirligigs need repair. The horse and carriage on this one is supposed to move, but is not moving. Also, the blue top here has not moved while we've been at the park. Well, we sure did enjoy coming here.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're over on 95 coming through North Carolina, get off at Wilson, North Carolina. It's probably less than 10 minutes over here and 10 minutes back. It's be a good 30-minute side trip.
Yep, it's very interesting, fascinating. They've done a great job restoring these treasured artworks and preserving Mr. Vola Simpson's handiwork. It's really inspiring.
It is very nice, especially if it's windy.
But dress warm.
Yeah. Well.
Some of us didn't bring our jacket. Thank you, Donnie.
You're welcome.
Something else to do in Wilson if you're here at the right time of the year. Don and I will try to come back a little later this spring, early summer, and see the roses. Don and I are ready to leave Wilson. He's had 3 people try to run him over. One person got impatient. He was taking a picture over near the Whirligig Park, and it was like dead over there. And then we hesitated for a second trying to see which way Maps was trying to tell us to turn, and somebody went rushing past us. And then we were in the park over there, and it's a low speed limit in the park, and somebody like came out from behind him while he's getting ready to make a left turn and passed him in the park. We're ready to leave Wilson now. I guess it's just a really nice barn. But to me, it looked like a mill. Because it's right here at the water. It sure is pretty. We're going home on Highway 42, which comes back through Clayton and Willow Spring, heading back over to Fuquay. Yep. We're off the interstate, and that's partly to avoid rush hour traffic and partly just to take a different road going back than we did coming over. Yeah. This is a whole different kind of interest for autopilot.
Yeah, it's your typical state highway. It's well marked, the lines are really good, but it's twisty, and it's got lots of little hills like this and things like that, curves, quick curves. And when we've done these same kind of roads before, prior to the 10.4 autopilot update, you know, Ruby would give you a real joyride on these things, but she's been tracking right down the middle of the road. In the curve, she's been turning plenty where she doesn't get too close to the center line or too close to the shoulder. She's taking the curves much smoother, and none of these rises with these quick dips she hasn't pulled to the right or left. So I'd say she's a noticeable improvement on secondary roads with this autopilot update.
The only thing I haven't seen an improvement on from Ruby with this newest update is when she slows down, because the car in front slows, especially when that car is turning left or right, she really slows, and then it takes her a second or two more than is comfortable to speed back up. It's like, I guess a human driver knows, yeah, this car is turning, they're gonna not slow down that much, they're gonna be out of my lane pretty quick. I only have to lift a little bit. And Ruby doesn't know for sure. She just sees this thing slowing in front of her, so she slows up really good. and then waiting for that vehicle to actually totally get away, she waits and then hesitates, and then she picks back up. And I've not seen that change with this update. So for me, I would say she still needs a little improvement in that area.